Welcome to another episode of Assault Rifle Basics. I'm your host, Perry Lloyd.
And I'm his co-host, Buck Tyrell. Now, lately we've been getting a lot of viewer email.
That's right, Buck. We certainly have. As a matter of fact, we have a new segment called Viewer Email. Well, we got an email from Bob Rich. Hi, Perry and Buck. I just found your show on Friday and downloaded 7 episodes at work, which I watched at home this morning. They're a nice mixture of fun and information. I really like the Nutty Professor you had on.
Hey, where's Professor Ice anyways?
Oh, I think he's in the back office talking to one of his ex-wives. Oh, I can't believe the alimony that guy pays. Wow. Anyway, Bob goes on to say, I received a medal when I was in the Navy Seabees for shooting expert level with an M16. Seabees. And at that time, I also owned a personal AR-15, which I am almost positive was a Colt. Now, it's my understanding they only sell them to the military. Am I correct?
Well, I'm pretty sure that depending on your state or, your current citizenship or...
Yeah, status of your good citizenship.
You can, pretty much anybody can own a Colt AR-15.
The semi-auto version.
The semi-auto version, exactly. But the full auto, I mean, you got to go through a lot of paperwork and time and money in order to get that. So,
and we're going to cover that in the future. We're going to go over how a private citizen can own a full auto machine gun on the federal level. When it comes to your states such as California, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, and Hawaii, owning a full auto gun, first of all, I think you can't. I don't think you can at all. Yeah. But a semi-auto rifle, they either have super restrictions on them where they kind of just take out the fun.
They take out all the fun of it.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, Bob goes on to say here, just wanted to let you know that I'm out here and enjoying your podcast. I do wish it was in a format that I could watch on my pocket PC, like the MPEG or Windows Media format. Your format only works on iTunes, and if I have the choice between buying a Mac or an AR-15, then the rifle will win out. Please take this format option into consideration. Thanks again, and keep up the good work. Bob, we would be more than happy to come up with a different format, such as MPEG or Windows Media format, but there's a couple of problems. One of them is, through iTunes, we have the ability to keep track of our subscribers, or at least know the amount of subscribers we have. I'm not sure how we would do that if we just put this out on the internet as an MPEG or Windows Media's format. And Buck, why don't you explain why it's important for us to be able to keep track of our subscribers?
Well, if we don't keep track of our subscribers, then how are we going to know who's watching and how are we going to get freaking sponsors?
Sponsors, right. They kind of want to know how many people are out there. Freaking sponsors. Anyway, thanks, Bob, for your email.
Well,
got there?
Tell you what, we got another one here from Mike from Houston, Texas. And he says, Perry and Buck, I just wanted to let you know that the podcast is great. I really appreciate the humorous yet informative approach that you both employ when filming the program. Like both of you, I'm very interested in the subject of assault rifles. I'm considering some lower cost alternatives based upon your podcast. I've pretty much settled on buying a 5.56 millimeter M4 variant. I've watched your recent episodes on the AR-15, M16, M4 rifle, and it appears to be a pretty good gun. So I'm wondering how Perry's AR-15 tends to perform in terms of accuracy, reliability, range, etc.
Well, thanks for that question there, Mike. Mike from Houston, right?
Mike from Texas.
I absolutely love my Bushmaster AR-15. I think it's the XM15 is their actual model number. We should grab it and I can read it, but... I like it. I've never shot a Colt before. To me, they look like they're the same design. And however, I know a Colt is a little more expensive than a Bushmaster. So I can't imagine a big difference between the two rifles. However, saying that because we're not experts, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you, the viewers, have any comments about why a Colt deserves to be more expensive or is a better rifle than a Bushmaster, if it is at all, please write to us. And you can write once again to Perry at assaultriflebasics.com
or Buck at assaultriflebasics.com.
Right, because if you know a difference, we certainly would like to hear. What else has Mike got there?
He was pretty much just asking what's our recommendations on AR accessories. Where can we get them? Now, I know that we're not, like you just said, we're not the experts, and we pretty much don't know. So why don't you go ahead and contact Impact Guns? I mean, they're happy to let you know just about anything you want to know.
Yeah, we don't work for Impact Guns. We'll make that clear. But those guys really know their firearms, and there's a lot of factors involved. What are you going to use this rifle for? Are you hunting with it? Me personally, I shoot a lot of targets, non-moving objects.
Yeah, non-living too.
Non-living, yeah. They're non-living before I shoot it too.
Yes, exactly.
They don't scream and die and bleed, that's for sure.
Okay, break's over. Let's rejoin our regularly scheduled podcast.
So, what do we got on tap for today?
Well, I thought we'd tie up a few loose ends. We need to cover the history of the AR-15 and the M16. Thought we'd touch on that a little bit today.
All right. Well, who did design the M16?
A man called Eugene Stoner is credited for the design and development of the AR-15.
Stoner. His name was Stoner.
Yeah.
A stoner designed the M16.
Hey, don't be making fun of his name now. But honestly, back in 1957, Eugene Stoner did design the original AR-15. That design is almost 50 years old. Now, even though there's been several revisions since then, many revisions actually, they still have stuck to the original design pretty much.
50 years ago, man. Geez, that's a long time. So I know that Stoner didn't do it all by himself. Who was he working for?
In 1959, Eugene Stoner was working for Armalite. They sold all the rights to the design to Colt.
And Eugene Stoner went with the AR-15 design and worked with Colt.
In 1960, Colt demonstrated the AR-15 to the U.S. Air Force. They liked the rifle and ordered 8,000 AR-15 rifles for the Strategic Air Command Security Force.
So somewhere along the line, the AR-15 went to war. The Vietnam War, actually.
That's right, Buck, because in 1962, the United States government field tested 1,000 AR-15s, and it got glowing reports. And then in the following year, 1963, Colt received an order for 85,000 rifles for the United States Army and another 19,000 rifles for the United States Air Force.
Now, you know that that's a lot of money for Colt because that's a huge order from the government. And when the government purchased the AR-15, that's when they started calling it the M16. But when the M16 was first released, it had a lot of jamming occurring and blowing up in the faces of American soldiers. Quite a few were killed.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. But I want to make it clear, it wasn't the design of the rifle that was at fault. Let me give you some of the reasons of why all this happened.
Okay.
One thing, for example, when the M16 first came out, the United States government believed that this was a rifle that didn't require any kind of maintenance.
Really? No maintenance at all?
Nope, none. And the second thing, the real culprit, was the gunpowder that they used. This gunpowder was manufactured during World War II. It burned a whole lot dirtier, and it caused a real high pressure to happen in the gas port. Thus, the rate of fire was a whole lot higher, something that it wasn't designed for the gun. It just caused general wear and tear of the rifle.
And as we've told you in episodes past, all the fouling of the weapon occurs here, where the bolt is blown back by the gas tube.
That's right, Buck.
When the AR-15 first came out, there wasn't a forward assist on the rifle, so if it jammed, it really was jammed, and the poor GI had to deal with it while in a firefight.
That's right, Buck. Not a good situation to be in. But by 1970, though, they had all the problems ironed out. The barrel, chamber, and bolt were chrome-lined to improve corrosion resistance, and cleaning kits were issued to the troops.
Now, as a matter of fact, isn't there a little space in the buttstock of the gun for a cleaning kit?
Yeah, there is. It's right here.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of room. You can get just about whatever you want in there.
Yeah, I guess you can, but I don't think I'm going to need a pen when I go shooting.
Oh, well, anyways, I don't think we've actually really showed the stats of an M16.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what we ought to do is probably do that.
Its maximum effective range is over 2,600 feet, and it shoots about 900 rounds per minute.
Yes, with full auto on. That means a clip of 30 rounds can be emptied in just 2 seconds.
Thanks, Professor Ice. 2 seconds. That's fast. I think the 3-round burst sort of makes sense when a clip can go that fast.
Hey, just for fun, check out this photo when Kalashnikov and Stoner met. Notice they're holding each other's rifles?
That had to have been a weird meeting. I mean, those guns were fighting against each other for so many years. Actually, they still are.
Yeah, interesting. Well, that's a wrap of another episode of Assault Rifle Basics. We hope you enjoyed it.
I know I did.
Hey, Buck, let me ask you, though. Are you going to be around to film another one soon?
Well, actually, I probably will be because I really can't get nothing going lately with them women, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I mean, I'm taking your advice. I shower every day now. I brush my teeth every now and then.
Yeah.
You know, I eat with a fork sometimes.
Uh-huh.
And you know that move in the theater?
Oh, yeah,
where you get up on them like this in the theater when you're trying to get them, you know?
Okay.
And that doesn't seem to work.
No.
And then that cologne, that freaking cologne, I use it and I spray it on my feet here, see?
Yeah.
And then all it does, and it's supposed to help, and they don't stink anymore, dude, and the women still don't.
They smell just a little bit.
Man, I'm so out of here, dude. I've had enough of this crap. You guys don't even know. I could be out here.
We'll be back next time for sure. I think I better get a date for him.